doing that. Welcome to the big show.
He could go all the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the episode 24 of the Rundown. And
24?
It's 24. It's 24, man. It's 24. We'll give everybody a few minutes to jump on. I see a couple people in the watching the show, but tonight's a big night, Chris.
It is. It very much is.
We're going to announce.
It's a what you would call a coup de grace of the season. A lot of hard work has been put in by the players, the coaches, and their staffs. And this is our chance as a league and as a show to give some people their flowers, to hand out some hardware, if you might say. We got a lot of awards to give out this evening. Some awards were voted on by the coaches. We'll let you know which awards those were. And other awards were by stats. We want to make sure we put that out there. They were statistics that were taken all season long and added up and calculated. So we didn't want to just be handing out MVP or defensive awards with no backing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing to hang their hat on. So we definitely will be announcing those as well. And we also will be talking about, I know there's going to be some championship games that are going to be taking place in the next upcoming weeks. I know the TPFL, the MCFL is having theirs as well. I know we got some champions that just were announced. I think the Cowboys went back-to-back. Also, I think the Fury, Grand Rapids Fury, was champion. But I also heard that the MIFL, it's a whole lot of situations going on over there. But, needless to say.
Makes my head hurt. Makes my damn head hurt, man. Makes my damn head hurt. But, yeah, let's jump on that for a minute. We know the Southern Indiana Bobcats, they will be in the 2A championship game for the MCFL playing the Kentucky Pirates. We won't get into how they got there. Unfortunate that they didn't get to play a game all the way through due to transgressions of another team. We'll just
leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Yeah. But anyways, we're a big supporter of the Bobcats. They're one of the organizations that do it right. There's a few that do it right, and they're one of them. So congrats to them. Second-year franchise going to the championship game. Best of luck to them to bring that championship home for their franchise. And the Grand Rapids Surge, obviously, the debacle in the MIFL with all those teams that left the Grand Rapids Surge solo, so they ended up winning the championship for there, but none of fault their own. I
just want to say a 50-0 forfeit is wild. Okay, I've heard of 2-0. I've heard of 21-0. This is I can only report. Brian only can report the information that is given to us. Yes, we try to do a little due diligence and get, hear from more sources, but sometimes we can't, people don't get back in contact with us fast enough. So, hey, we got to go with what we have. We don't mind being corrected. We're not always going to act like we always right, but we're just reporting what was told to us. So don't get mad at the messengers, okay? Don't get mad at the messengers.
All I have to say, Chris, is the Michigan leagues are in some turmoil right now, and
I thought TPFL was bad, man.
I mean, I don't even know where to start in that mess. I'm just glad it's the off season.
Yeah, shout out to the Fire and the Express for making it to, I want to say, TPFL Red. Reds championship game, and also the Wolfpack against. First of all, let me say this: if you got a semi-pro team, make sure we can pronounce the name of the team. The Levithian. You sound like
Leviathan.
Yeah, you sound
it's like a vampire or something.
Like Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Leviticus. Like it's like right there. So like they played them in the championship, I think, for the 2A over there in the TPFL. So shout out to them for winning their semi games. The Fire and the Express game was going to be wild. Fire beat them previously in the season. Didn't end the whole game because teams couldn't withstand the heat and got the fighting. So hopefully the championship game will finish this time. I know for a fact the last 2 years a game between those two has never finished. I was a part of one. So hopefully we can get a full game and a champion for the TPFL Red. Now for the TPFL Blue, it is the it is the Hawks, I do believe, against the Cleveland Rams. Hawks against the Rams. So shout out to the Cleveland Rams for making it to the championship game for the second year in a row. Shout out to them for doing that. Also, shout out to the Hawks, my man Curtis and his team. Again, two good teams, two good organizations. That should be a good game for the TPFL Blue. Okay, there's a red, and then there's a blue. So I just want to make sure.
It's like there's an MIF and like an MIFL. Yeah,
it's like the Matrix bill over here, Brian.
Oh man!
But they have their championship games coming up. While we are speaking of other leagues, hey, if you're on a team, if you're on the staff of a team, if you're in the front office of a league, me and Brian are looking for more teams to cover, more leagues to cover. Please get in contact with us via Messenger, on Facebook or Instagram, however, which one you prefer. I will tell you now, we do have, we have packages available to cover leagues as well as cover teams. We can always have a conversation. But just to let you know, me and Brian, we love this culture, but we do not work for free. But we're fair. I will say that we are very fair. We want to give as much exposure to the teams as possible, but every little bit counts to help us not only keep the show up and coming, but also for travel expenses. We do want to start traveling to some of these games and do live shows. And that's just not for the PFA. Like I said, that's for any other leagues that would like to have our services to hear your team's name and us talk about your previews and recaps and have videos on our show for your team and your league as well. So that's our plug for the show. But let's dive into some of these awards, Brian. I don't see anybody in the chat. This was creeping me out right now. We had a lot of people in the chat last week. I don't know if it was because the championship game was over and everybody was just waiting to say something about it or talk about it or get their stuff in. Shout out to, there we go. Mikey's always here. I know I can always count on Mikey to be
there.
There
goes the bubble.
The Michigan Bills. And I see two people I never worry about is Jimmy
and Mikey.
And Mike.
Drop the YouTube link.
For sure.
Let's see if I can find it. Hang on.
And if they go to the page, Mikey, our YouTube link is on the page as well. Right there if you go to the Facebook page, our YouTube link is, all you gotta do is push watch, and it'll take you directly to our YouTube page where we do stream as well. If you're on Facebook, shout out to Mark Garcia. Hey, how you doing? I-75. Hey, I-75 took a lot of heat this week for the Rangers.
They keep doing their thing though.
I feel sorry for him. National players. He does rankings as well. Hey, these guys are trying to provide a service that nobody else is providing. Nobody else is willing to do the work. So you can't just sit there and assassinate people's character and assassinate the process when nobody else is doing it. You know what I'm saying? So at least give them credit for at least doing something that nobody else is willing to do. It takes a lot. It takes time and effort to put in. I know Mark has a whole BCS computer tallying system.
Supercomputer system, yeah.
Hey, Francis. Hey, Motor City. So it's just lay off of them a little bit, okay? Just chill. All right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's trying to do as much as they can for this level of football. So, hey, just take it for what it is. If you don't like where you ranked, improve it. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It doesn't mean that that's who you are as a franchise. It's just some numbers, man. It's just some numbers. You know, a lot of people, listen, we're about to give out awards, okay? Hey, Mikey, I'm not talking. See, Mikey? You think I'm talking about you? I'm not talking about you, Mikey. When are you talking about you? I saw some other posts. They were tearing National Players Association rankings apart. And they was giving Jerry a bad time too, talking about number one tight end. But again, you got people who don't have time to do it. You have people who have time to do it. These are people who have time to do it. So let's just let them work. You know what I'm saying? And we do our job. You feel what I'm saying? We just do our job. But like I said, we're about to give out awards. You may not like some of the people that were chosen for the awards. That's okay.
That's okay. Better luck next year. Hey, look, me and Chris have been saying all season, get your stats in. And most of the teams got the stats in. I appreciate it. Most of the teams did. There was a couple teams that didn't. And I'm just going to be up front. You ain't going to see none of those names on these awards. And we warned you. So we don't want to hear no crying and whining after the fact. But we only have so many awards to give out, so we couldn't give everybody an award. But we did go through. We've been rashing our heads together all day for a couple of days trying to tally up votes and get the teams to vote and stuff like that. So
some of these, like I said before, some of these awards were voted on by the coaches, and there's some of their representatives for the team. So we left it in their hands. Okay, we left it in their hands for some of these. But again, some of these are statistically, that's a good word, statistically bound, okay, by stats. So if you didn't turn in these stats, like B said, hey, don't get mad at us. As any player, don't throw shots at us. I want you to turn around and I want you to look at your coach and your GM and your organization that you're a part of, because they didn't turn the stuff in. That's plain and simple. Shout out to Fred Smith, my Timu brother. I think we're gonna move over next year, Fred. I think we're moving over
Alibaba.
to Alibaba. I think we're gonna move over to Alibaba.
Alibaba it is.
We're gonna check that out. Me and Brian been talking about it. We've been seeing some nice things on Alibaba, so we might switch over there.
All right. Without further ado,
is growing in the chat.
In no specific order. So
no specific order, people.
No specific order. GM of the year for 3A goes to none other than the infamous Dave Smith, the man, the myth, the legend, our homie Dave Smith of the Detroit Ravens. 3A 2024 GM of the year. I'm sure somebody from the Ravens is watching this and can get that news to him because he's not probably on here. So congratulations.
I'm not going to say this was a no-brainer. For me, it was. I mean, being the GM of the Ravens, first of all, I know it's a tough job because you have to continually reload players. In order for you to go that long, the win streak went all the way to what, 34, 35 games? It takes a lot as a GM to make sure you got the right guys that fit your organization. Dave Smith does a great job of doing that. He does a great job of, connecting with the players and making sure they buy in to 38. Thank you, Fred. Buy into the system. So there was no other pick in my mind that it should have definitely went to Dave Smith for 3A. He definitely does deserve that. The Ravens are always on point. And he's part of the, I won't say part, he's mainly the reason because of that. So shout out to him. This is one of the awards, again, this is from your peers, Dave. This is one of the awards that was voted on by the coaches and the owners of the league, owners of the teams. And they felt that you deserved this. And so did we at the PFA board and here at the Rundown. So appreciate you, Dave, for doing all you can for the Ravens, man. And I know they appreciate you too.
Yeah, definitely. And shout out to Dave Smith again. He was helping us with the stat program. We're still working
Oh,
on it.
yeah.
And not only does he let the PFA use it, but he lets any semi-pro team use it. So if you're not taking advantage of the stat program, then you're really doing yourself a disservice, because it's a hell of a lot easier using his program than trying to do it like I started doing it, writing it down with pencil and erasing it every week. No, screw that shit. Our next award goes out to Mr. Torrance Webster, and he's going to be the 3A offensive MVP. And this is why he's the 3A offensive MVP. This dude threw 35 touchdowns, had almost 2,500 yards passing. No one even came close to it.
And this is another reason why we said stats matter. I mean, 2,500 yards. How many touchdowns? You said 34?
33, 35, something close. It was 35, close to 35. I mean 9 interceptions, but I mean, he had 23, almost 2,400 yards. So it was a no-brainer.
He's the reason why the Ravens were able to be in that championship game. He's the reason why they won 38 games in a row. Not only does his numbers speak for himself, but the character of himself as a leader on that team, as a leader and a quarterback in his community. Torrance does show all those things that you want your franchise quarterback to be. The Ravens have always done well in that aspect of picking guys like that to lead their team. I'm reminded of Future and as one of their quarterbacks, but Torrance definitely fits that mold and has exceeded all expectations this season. Just came up a little short in the championship game with the pick 6, but I won't put salt on the wound. He definitely deserves to be the offensive MVP for the 3A this year. So shout out to Torrance Webster and the Ravens for taking the first 2 awards home.
Like I said, there's no specific order, because I had some issues with my Adobe crashing on me, trying to get it to work. So I had to make this PDF for the slides. Next goes, 24 Glue Guy Awards. So we went to each team and we asked them to give us a name of one person that we call the Glue Guy Award. Basically, the guy who held the team together, that was there all season, that led the team, was a leader in the locker room type, leader on the field. So we went ahead and decided to do that for every team, and these are who the owners and the coaches gave us for that award. So each team had one. We had Reggie Rogers from the Pit Bulls, Jeremy Botts from the Wolfpack, Corbin Katner from the Warriors, Kemonte Abrams from Glass City, Cody and Vashawn Brown from Flag City, Cal Taylor from the Detroit Ravens, Deontay Shivers from the Motor City Rams, JT Terry from the Gators, and Ed Hahn from the Bucks. So, that's we were going to do just one person, but it was hard to choose, and we decided to do one for each team because we wanted to spotlight the.
I see Mike in the comments already. Mike said, "Where is this? Did you send your guy in, Mike?"
I might have missed it, Mike. I was trying to scramble it around. If I did, I apologize. Let me look.
Don't worry, Mike. Before I make the post, I will make sure it gets added on there, Mike.
Hang on, let me look.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Mike. Some of these awards that we had y'all vote for were it was news to us. Let me just say that. So,
Mike, I do not. The list that I was sent did not have a guy from your team on there. I apologize. I didn't realize that. But we will. If you send it to me, I will fix this graphic before we post it on Facebook and stuff like that. So, the next award goes. Coach of the Year for 3A goes to Roy Granger of the Motor City Rams. Obviously, he made it to the championship game and they beat the Ravens. They had a great record all year. So this was another, not so much a no-brainer, but it was also a tough decision because a lot of names were nominated. But Roy had the most votes by his peers. So that's who got the 3A Coach of the Year. Congratulations,
it's always
Roy.
to get voted on. It's always nice to get voted Coach of the Year by your peers. I think that's a great way to do it because they see they know how hard it is and what it takes, and for them to point you out and say that you did that job at your best other than everybody else, it says something. It means a little bit more. So definitely shout out to Coach Rory Granger. He's had a hell of a two-season run. Over last year, they ran the tournament, were able to beat national champions that way. Came back this year, joined the PFA, was able to make it all the way to the championship game, and then beat the number one team in that game that beat them during the regular season. What a feat for him and his team to be able to feel that joy and to be able to cross over that hump. So definitely, congratulations to him and the rest of the Motor City Rams for Coach of the Year, man. Shout out to you, Coach Roy.
Definitely have to get with them when they come down to Florida and do some interviews with the players and stuff live at the field for the rundown. So we'll look out for that when they make that announcement to go to Florida. So next up we have, and I apologize, Torrance, I spelt the name wrong on this one, but the overall league MVP for the PFA goes to Torrance Webster. Obviously, we just said why he got the offensive MVP for the 3A. We also did votes on this, and he was voted for this award. So congratulations, Torrance.
This is a league award. This is a 2A, 3A league award. Anybody in either division could have won this award. This was also one that was voted on. We asked for nominations from the teams, and his name was the one that popped up the most. And front office also agreed. Like I said, his stats speak for themselves. So there was a no-brainer that he would definitely be a good person to not only represent the Ravens, but represent our league, the PFA, as being our league MVP. So shout out to Torrance, taking two good awards on Torrance. You might not have won the war, but you won some battles. You know what I'm saying? You're winning some battles here. So shout out to you, man, for staying consistent, being consistent, and being the great leader that you are, and taking your job seriously, especially at this level. I know that's hard to do, but your numbers show that you do take it seriously, and we appreciate that.
And like I said, I spelt this one wrong, and I went to go correct it, and I couldn't get my Photoshop to load, so we'll go back and fix it. Most improved player, this is another one that we went ahead and decided to do one for each team. So to highlight the players that were most improved from the last season, Chris, you want to read those? Can you read those?
Yeah, I can. I don't have my glasses on, but I definitely can help out for that. All right,
okay.
Pit Bulls, we got Markel. We got my man Markel Swoll. He came in at a needed time for the Pit Bulls. We got a man, Trey Brooks from the Wolfpack. We got Ethan. Is that Missamore? I don't want to get jacked up. We got Ethan Missamore. Hey, Mikey, just send him to us, so we got him. When I post him, I got you, bro.
Yeah, he didn't have it, and I apologize again. There was nothing from the Bills on the list that I got sent, and I mislooked that. So that's my fault.
No
Mikey.
shade towards the Bills, Mikey.
That is my fault. I take full responsibility for that. I'm sorry. I apologize. That was my fault.
Hey, Brian, I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm blind. You have to read the rest of them.
All right, where'd you leave off at? Cavante Henderson from the Glass City Tigers, Javon Phillips from the FCP, Vince Howard from the Ravens. I got you, Bills. I'm gonna fix it. I promise. I'm gonna fix it when I get off here, and we'll fix it and get it before Chris posts anything on social media.
Yeah.
Jurian O'Neal from the Motor City Rams, Marcus Boston from the Gators, and Jalen Engelman of the Sin City Bucks. And
looks like
Devion Hayes.
Number 10, Da Vinci Hayes from the Motor City. I'm sorry.
And Lorenzo White was the glue guy. Lorenzo White was the glue guy for the Bills. Yep. So we'll make sure we fix those.
We'll get you guys on there. And again, someone like for the most improved, I know for sure, most improved and the glue guys. We're sending out, since a lot of them, we'll be sending out certificates. You know what I mean? So just we'll get in contact with you for your information. We'll probably send it through your coaches, but you'll be getting certificates for that. For the MVPs and the defensive player rookies, you got to give us some time because we do have something planned as far as something, of value for you guys to have. But you also will get certificates as well in the time being. So we're just going over the names now. Just want to put it out there. We're gonna make a big old post, but definitely there will be something in the mail for you guys to have something tangible to have and to hold to remember these moments.
And we're also going to be announcing the PFA first team, second team, honorable mention, and the rookie team. I've sent that information that I needed.
We're still working on that too.
All the people in the chat today. So hopefully they get those to us as soon as possible so I can get those done. On to the next award. 2024 Most Improved Organization, Flag City Phantoms. I mean, really improvement in a not from a negative standpoint, but just from a step up from when they started last year. I mean, they were great last year. They just tenfold this year as far as their community outreach, their game day stuff. I mean, they did it all. I mean, Aaron Sanders, the owner of the organization, this is an award that is much deserved, I think. And there was definitely some other organizations that were kind of in the category, but after we looked at it and we had people vote on it, it was pretty much a no-brainer. I mean, just from how they market themselves and everything they do. Congratulations, Aaron.
The crazy part about it is, Brian, I don't think people remember that at one point in time, Flag City used to be the Finley Knights.
Finley Knights, yep.
And the Aaron and them did a whole makeover of this team and of that organization. And to what we see now as Flag City Phantoms, I mean, we're talking their YouTube alone carries at least 10,000 views per live stream for games. That's not even including the practice facilities that they practice in. I know BG Fieldhouse, Bowling Green University Fieldhouse is one of their places that they use. That's also not including the advertisement that Aaron's puts out as far as video reels. Hell, he helped the PFA out with the characters that we started to do some of the games with. That was something that Aaron was messing around with. They gave to us. So they are always looking forward to try to do new things and bring new ways and nuances to this culture. So we definitely appreciate them. And hell, I was there at the 2A championship game, even in a loss. Okay, they still let off fireworks for the winners.
That's not free. That stuff's not. Yeah,
that
stuff's not free. That costs money to do stuff like that.
You know, they could have been sour pussies and been like, "Man, we lost. I got these fireworks.
Saving our fireworks for next year.
For next year, save them up. You know, 4th of July is coming, type of situation again." But they didn't. It was more about the atmosphere. There was great. I've always said that when we were there for the championship game, it was a great atmosphere. So that has to do with them being immersed in the community. The organization also does a lot of community work. I know they just had like a Flag City Balloon Fest,
and they were there
they also
helping.
Do other things inside the community as far as donating for donations for food, donations for school supplies and things of that nature. So it's just an organization that you kind of look to and you see them, and you know it's not. Don't think it a bad thing if you want to emulate some of the things they're doing. It's not bad at all. It just means that they're doing the right things.
Yeah, and definitely most improved is a step up on top of the step that they were last year. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they were down here and they most improved. No, that's definitely not the case for the Flag City Phantoms. But
definitely raise the level.
On to the next award. 2024 Rookie of the Year, Reggie Rogers. Reggie was offensive player. He was a defensive player. I mean, he was a glue guy for the Neo Pit Bulls. So just an overall all-around leader on the team. And we talked to him. He was on the show once, and just a great person in general to chat with, and definitely very deserving of this award. And surprisingly to me, when Chris told me this was his first year ever playing pro advancement football, that is just crazy because he was all over the field. I mean, I think he had like 12 or 13 interceptions just alone, and return yards and rushing yards. I mean, just crazy. But congratulations, Reggie Rogers, the 2024 Rookie of the Year from the Neo Pit Bulls.
The reason why Reggie was picked to be the Rookie of the Year was because if anybody knows Reggie's story, Reggie, you know what I'm saying? I know he won't mind me putting this out there because he goes around and he talks about it to kids all the time. Reggie was not only a top All-American athlete at Canton McKinley, had hopes and dreams just like everybody else, taking his talents to the next level, had committed to a school, Marshall, and he made a mistake. Made a mistake one night and got involved into some things, and he had to serve some time behind that wall, man. And to be able to come out from behind that wall and be back, able to play the game that he loves. Like, I seen him in his first game when he showed up at the referee clinic, and even in that loss that they took to Sin City, you couldn't tell by the joy that he had in his face that he was just happy to be out there, that he was just happy to be able to play football again, and just to be able to live in that moment. And if anybody knows the Pitbulls, Reggie was Mr. Everything for them. He played offense, he played defense, he played special teams, he played quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Hell, I think I seen him play. I think he punted the ball one of the games that I was at. So he literally was doing anything that he could for his team, and that's why it was behooving of us to not think that he should not be Rookie of the Year with the season that he's had. I know we'll get into another award that I know for sure he's taking home when it comes to stats, but he definitely deserves this year's Rookie of the Year overall. So I know that there are some other players from other teams. And by all means, I will say this. Just because the PFA gives out awards doesn't mean you can't give out awards as an organization. You can always give out your MVP. You can always give out your Rookie of the Year. So don't let what we're saying stop you, okay? Don't let what we're saying be the end-all, be-all, because I know there's a lot of guys that we are missing, and it's not trying to say we're doing it on purpose, but we can't see everybody. So if those guys that we are missed, hey, and they mean something to your organization, they mean something to your team, hey, man, give them an award. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. So I actually encourage teams to give your own awards, so that way they know that the organization themselves thinks highly of them first. We're just reporting for the league and as a whole. So don't let that stop you from personally telling them, hey, man, thank you for being that guy for us. There's nothing wrong with that. And I honestly, bro, I encourage every team, if you haven't done awards for your teams yet, you should do them.
Definitely. Congratulations again, Reggie. Definitely was a pleasure having you on the show and talking to you. So we'll definitely have to have you on next season. Regardless of what team or league you're in, we'll definitely have you on next season. So
just to follow his journey, because I know it's only going to get better, man. Next
award is the 2A Coach of the Year. And this goes out to Coach Dobbins of the Northern Kentucky Wolfpack. I mean, they fought their way to the championship game and came to the championship game and pulled out the win in a great fashion, a surprising fashion. Not in a bad way, but definitely a surprising fashion. And congratulations to Coach Dobbins for winning the Coach of the Year for 2A Northern Kentucky Wolfpack.
I'm definitely not surprised, Brian. I know me and you talked about this before, but we always keep it funky on this show. So why stop now? The hell that the Wolfpack went through in the beginning of the season, okay? The fighting at games
and down,
the roller coaster of players showing, not showing, fines and inflicted, self-inflicted fines that we had to impose by the league. I know Coach Dobbins probably wanted to pull what hair he had out, okay? But as a coach, your job is to manage your team and know your players. And that's one thing I can say Coach Dobbins does have a good grasp of. He does know his players very well. He was able to connect with some of the guys to weed out some of the negative energy that they had during the beginning of the season. And honestly, they went on that 5-game run and it allowed them to put them in the position to even be in that championship game. So that a lot of credit goes to him, knowing his personnel, knowing how to talk to the players, how to get them to buy in. Because trust me, I don't care what anybody says. It takes 22 men, 11 on defense, 11 on offense, to buy in to one single cause, and that's trying to win a championship. And he was able to, from start to finish, figure out how to get to those guys, communicate well with them enough to get them to buy in to that one goal and that one vision. And that's why they sit as the 2A 2024 Players Association and Midwest champs. So shout out to Coach Dobbins. Salute you, my guy, on Coach of the Year.
Next up,
Stat man. Oh, we going?
Wait, hang on. Franchise of the Year. Wait, did we miss? Oh, okay. I thought it was again. We said Reggie Rogers was going to take home a couple awards, and this would be one of the other ones that he's taken home. 24 Defensive Player of the Year overall for the league. Like I said, he was all over the place. He played almost every position, had stats for defense, offense, punting, return.
But the defense is the ones that stand out to me the most. I'm not going to hold you. Because anytime you can have 10-plus picks, I think he had 12 picks on the season, and half of those picks was taken back for touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He had half of those picks taken back. So let that sink in. In the season, he had 12 picks.
And so 7 of them were returns. 6 or 7, yeah.
6 or 7 of those picks were taken back for touchdown. That's not including the offensive production that he put up at wide receiver. That's not including he played quarterback too. But we just focus on the defensive aspect here. No defensive player in 2A did any of that.
And the Pit Bulls played the 3A schedule.
Thank you, Brian, for pointing that out. So some of those, and I know for a fact one of those picks was against our MVP, Torrance Webster. So Reggie proved that he could play ball with any of them, but there was no doubt in my mind when the stats came in. Again, we asked for stats weekly. When the stats came in, his stats kept growing and growing and growing tremendously on the defensive end. There was it was a done deal. You tell me who's a better defensive back with at least 12 picks and 7 TDs returned. I'll wait. And that's no shade to anybody else who plays his position. There's no shade to anybody else who plays in this league. But his stats don't lie.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations. Like we said before, on all these awards, there was a ton of. It was a hard choice, and I'm sure the people that voted on it had to think about it. And
hey, Bronx baby, I see you said we wasn't watching the games. I want you to know this was a statistical award, so that stats were supposed to be sent in from organizations. Mm-hmm. So if you're one of those players who's a little butthurt right now because one of your homies' names ain't been called, check with him and see if his people put in the stats, because I guarantee they probably did. So don't shoot the messenger.
Talk to your coach.
Something and we don't get it. Some of these awards is stat based, and if you've seen this film, you wouldn't be saying that either.
Yeah.
But continue, Brian. I'm sorry.
And on that Bronx baby thing, we're not watching no games. We don't have homies on this show. We're not going to give out an award to our homie because we think they deserve it. That's not how we play that stuff. So that y'all not watching the games, go on with that, man. Franchise of the Year goes again, like we said before, Flag City Phantoms for 2A. We pretty much said everything we said about it before in the last award they got. Most improved.
And this was voted on again by the coaches and the owners of the league. So this is another peer award. You know what I'm saying? They saw the things that the franchise was able to do as far as advertising their franchise, advertising their players. Aaron and those guys do a great job of getting things to us, me and Brian, so that way we can share them. Hell, we also even did, I don't know if anybody remembers, in the beginning of the season, we even did a commercial with the Phantoms. So they've always are looking for some way to do something different that nobody does, and it's working for them. And I applaud their efforts of just always trying to see the bigger picture, man. See the bigger picture, and not live in this box that Semi-Pro has, created.
Again,
so I love that for them, and I love that they also give, me and Brian ideas about things that we want to do, and it also gives other teams ideas. Again, it's not if they don't. I tell people this all the time: don't be mad at the people that copy you, because if they don't copy you, that means you're not doing it right. So a lot of people have copied a lot of things of the Phantoms, and they should take that as them as flowers. You know what I'm saying? Take those as flowers. Hey, Fred, crazy.
And also as like you said, the commercial, we ask every team in the PFA to do a little snippet during games for us to use for our show. And the only two teams that did it were FCP and the Pit Bulls. So, we ask stuff and you don't do it, you miss out. And you don't participate, that's not our fault. And Aaron came to us and said, "Hey, I got this idea. You guys interested?" And me and Chris were like, "Heck yeah, we'll do it." And we did a little skit thing where they kidnapped Chris, and he was kind of traumatized after it for a while. Aaron remembers what I was talking. And Aaron was like crossing his face out with marker on the picture. It was. We don't want to rehash that. Chris has got PTSD from it, but we'll move on. So, congratulations to the franchise of the year for 2A Flag City Phantoms. And we'll go back to offensive MVP for 2A goes out to Devontae Farmer. Again, another stat line. He had like 17 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards. I mean, no one really came close to him in the 2A.
No, Fred told me to shut up because he said I was talking too much. So I'm just gonna. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand our connection. I do most of the talking, but
right. Me and Chris had this conversation the other day.
Yeah, I was just giving him his just due. Forget you, Fred.
Look, Fred, I set him up. Chris knocks him down. That's just like we're bowling in here. I set him up. He knocks him down.
Fred.
Yeah, Fred.
But no, shout out to Devontae Farmer, man. He led his team to the championship game. He was a hell of a quarterback this season. Again, this is by statistics, by stats, I should say, and he outperformed all the QBs that were in the 2A. So well-deserving to Mr. Devontae Farmer. He showed that leadership on and off the field, and also by leading his team, like I said, to the championship game. So kudos to him and his offensive line. I'm gonna give a shout out for him to his offensive line for helping him to be able to put up those numbers. So shout out to them.
That's correct. All right, moving on. GM of the year for 2A goes to none other than Fashawn Brown, Flag City Phantoms. I mean, he was involved in the organization. Did when he was asked to do something, he helped us out when we needed it, and obviously he's a great help to the. Aaron wouldn't have put him in that position if he didn't believe that he was going to do his job. So GM of the year for 2A goes out to Fashawn Brown of the Flag City Phantoms.
Hey, Fashawn definitely does a great job partnering with Aaron to make sure that the coaches and staff have everything they need as far as players. He used to be a player, so he knows what it takes and how to communicate with them. And overall, between Fashawn, Mark, and Aaron, they all have a vision. They see the same thing, and they work very well together. So this award is very deserving for Fashawn to show all his hard work that he puts in to help that vision come to reality. So shout out to Fashawn Brown, man.
Next is offensive or defensive MVP for 3A goes to none other than Takari Johnson. I know he was in the chat watching the show. He's Motor City Rams. I got his stats today and I looked at him over, defensively versus the other teams, and he stood out. So congratulations.
I tell you right now, I know it's going to be Mikey's still watching, which you probably am. I know he's going to have I know he's gonna have something to say. I know he is. Because don't get me wrong, Mikey. I thought you would have been up for this award, owner player. You know, because you was getting them sacks in pretty early in the season. You was racking them up. You know what I'm saying? He was racking them sacks up.
But to our defense, haven't received stats from Mikey since before the playoffs.
So we couldn't keep up with everything. So
yeah,
you know, so we gotta be fair. For somebody who turned in, you know, saying all the stats, and we just gotta go with what we have. So shout out to Takari. I know he had a hell of a game in the championship game to help them to be able to win that. And it gives another notch to the BTA boys. You know, they hang their hat on defense. And so it doesn't surprise me that this award goes to one of their players. So shout out to them, and shout out to Takari. Well deserved. Nice to see a big man too get this award. Usually it goes to a DB or something, but nice to see the big man up front.
Oh, there we go. Maybe this will get us back in Mikey's good graces.
Yeah.
3A franchise of the year goes to the Michigan Bills. I mean, they're first year organization. They had a great season, looking to go to Florida here pretty soon. So, you know, congratulations to them. Definitely well deserved.
Derek, he said Joe Carter. Hey, again, Mr. Newsom, I'm gonna say the same thing to you. Hey, he can definitely be the Motor City's defensive player of the year. You definitely can give your middle linebacker that award. But this award here goes to Takari.
Hey, I don't think I looked at the stats, Derek, and it didn't say 90 tackles for Joe Carter. He was up there, but he didn't have no 90.
But back to Mikey and these Michigan Bills.
I have to put my glasses on and read them again.
I love me some Bills Mafia. Okay, love me some Bills Mafia. All right, and this is one of the reasons I'm happy that this not only was my pick, this was a coach's pick. This was voted on by the coaches and the owners. They all saw the same thing I saw. For a first-year franchise, to do the things that you guys did, to go into places, to play the schedule that you guys did, you guys took it on the chin and you ran with it. I was a fan. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm still on the bandwagon. I can't wait till Bills Mafia goes to Nationals this year. I definitely take y'all over pretty damn much anybody you play against. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Mikey and his squad for putting on, man, for putting on and not having to go through those first year hiccups. You know what I'm saying? It does take a lot. That says a lot about the organization, being prepared, the kind of team, the kind of players you have on your team. Because first year teams go through a lot of hiccups, and to be able to do the things that you guys did, play the guys that you were play against the teams you were able to play against, winning big games, winning those moments, only losing to the number 1, the number 2, and now the number 3 teams in the nation. Well, I'm sorry, they were number 4. BCA is number 4 right now. The number 4 team in the nation on my schedule. Hey, you can't be mad at that for a first-year team, okay? So definitely franchise of the year. If it went to somebody else, I definitely would have had a problem. I definitely would have said my 2 cents because I do believe they deserve to be the franchise of the year this year.
All right, that's it. That we already went through them all. Yep. So that's all the awards that we have. Like I said, look for the announcement for the.
Look for the I almost got jammed up. Look for the All Pro teams to be coming out here soon. We're still waiting for nominations to come in from your organizations for that. So just please make sure you get with your organizations. Hey, send them a reminder. Hey, did you send an All Pro? Hey, did you send an All Pro? Because if you don't, we're not going to have it, and we're not going to be able to post it. Those things are nominated by your coaching staff and your organization. So we're just waiting to get those in, and we will announce those as soon as we get those in from every team. So again, shout out to all the winners. We will be getting with you soon. Like I said, we're definitely going to get you guys some certificates so that way we can have that. And in our MVPs, we definitely want to try to get some type of something tangible that you can have, hardware. So it might take a little bit longer, but don't trust and believe. I'm making a promise that we're going to get you something. So trust in me. Take my word for it. It's going to happen. So shout out to all the winners. We will after me and Brian, we got some fixing to do. Okay, Mikey, we got some fixing to do with some things, but we will get those things to you guys on as far as posting them here. If I'm not able to get it done tonight, we will be posting them. Honestly, it'll probably be like late tonight because I'm gonna be up doing a lot of things. So you'll see the post by this morning. All-Star game. We are still at the front office trying to figure out we are trying to do an All-Star game, trying to figure out the dynamics of how to get that done. So that will also be something that will be talked about here in the next week. So please do look out for that information to be given to your coaches and owners, and they will then give it to you guys. And we will post it on the rundown. So that is something that we definitely will be doing. I know we talked about it as a front office before in the middle of the season, but we had not yet finalized details and so forth and so on. So Give us another week, and we have that information for you guys. If we are going to have one this year, if we're not, or if we are just going to have a net, like we said, we still are going to have the All-Pro teams, the first, second, and third for both tiers. That's still going to happen, and you'll still get that information as well. So that's all I got, Brian. You got anything else, man?
Nope, that's all we have. And again, we want to thank everybody who's watched the 24 episodes of the Rundown. We appreciate your support. And we'll be back. Probably we're going to take a couple months off, hopefully, and we'll be around to update maybe, and we'll start talking again when nationals start rising up and speeding up for that. But look for the best of the Rundown coming out here next week or so. We're going to be dropping that on YouTube. It won't be a live show. It'll just be you'll see a notification for it. So, but as always, I'm Brian, my co-host Chris Cousins. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been great. We'll see you again soon.
Hey, like Fred just said, catch us if you can, baby.